Hi kids, it's Aunt Molly and Raggedy. How's everybody? Good. I woke up with a bad dream today. I had a little bit of bad dream about dead fishes, which was weird. And I countered that with going and doing a little bit of good deed doing. A neighbor of mine needed a sewing machine needle, and I had ordered 13, so I gave her one of those. And another friend of mine is a new mama who's going to have a baby at home in a few weeks, and she needed rubbing alcohol, and I was able to get her that through some research and stuff. So doing that little bit of good deed doing kind of got me out of the funk, the weird, like I woke up, like they say, on the wrong side of the bed. Have you ever heard that phrase before? So it kind of got me out of that, doing a little good deed doing, because it's a little bit of a weird time, but I'm okay. Oh, the best part about my day is I happened to be in the neighborhood where Waverly and Thatcher were, and I dropped by, and I was down below and they were up on their balcony, but I was able to see Thatcher today. That was so great. Waverly was sleeping, so I didn't get to see Waverly, but hi Thatcher. Hi Waverly. Waverly, I'm saying hi to you now. So that totally made my day. Plus I got to see Mom and Dad, so that was good. But anyway, well, we're in the middle of this story by the the Grimm brothers, and let's read a page or two of it. It says it's 2 pages left in this chapter, so we shall see. But let's read at least a page or two. This one's called The Raven. So without further ado, we'll get into the story. Long story short, pun intended. I'm okay. I hope you guys are okay. Just some days it's like this, isn't it, right now, emotionally, right? Anyway, all right, let's get on with the story. Glasses, check, check. All right. The giant thereupon carried the man to within about 100 leagues of the castle where he left him, saying, "You will be able to walk the remainder of the way yourself." Wait a minute, I have to yawn. Oh, sorry. I tried to take a nap this afternoon, but it didn't work. So sorry about that. So back where I was. You will be able to walk the remainder of the way yourself. The man journeyed on day and night until he reached the golden castle of Stromberg. He found it situated, however, on a glass mountain, and looking up from the foot, he saw that the enchanted maiden had driven around her castle, and then she went inside. He was overjoyed to see her and longed to get to the top of the mountain, but the sides were so slippery that every time he attempted to climb, he fell back again. When he saw that it was impossible to reach her, he was greatly grieved and said to himself, "I will remain here and wait for her." So he built himself a little hut, and there he sat and watched for a whole year. And every day he saw the king's daughter driving around her castle, but still was unable to get nearer to her. Looking out from his hut, one day he saw 3 robbers fighting, and he called out to them, "God be with you." They stopped when they heard the call, but looking around and seeing nobody, they went on with their fighting, which now became more furious. "God be with you," he cried again, and again they paused and looked about, but seeing no one, went back to their fighting. A third time he called out, "God be with you," and then thinking he should like to know the cause of dispute between the 3 men, he went out and asked them why they were fighting so angrily with one another. One of them had said he found a stick, and that he had tried to strike it against any door. One of them said that he'd found a stick, and that he had to but strike it against any door, though through which he wished. Goodness. Ooh, let's start over there. One of them had said that he found a stick, and that he had to but strike it against any door through which he wished to pass, and it immediately would fly open. Another told him that he had found a cloak which rendered its wearer invisible, and the third had caught a horse which would carry its rider over any obstacle and even up the glass mountain. They had been unable to decide whether they would keep together and have the things in common, or whether they would separate. On hearing this, the man said, "I will give you something in exchange for those 3 things." not money, for that I have not got, but something that is of far more value. I must first, however, prove whether all you have told me about your 3 things is true. The robbers therefore made him get on the horse and handed him the stick and the cloak. And when he had put this round him, he was no longer visible. Then he fell upon them with the stick and beat them one after the other, crying, "There, you idle vagabonds! You have got what you deserve. Are you satisfied now?" Well, first of all, that's not very nice. And second of all, even if they are robbers, and second of all, that's where we were yesterday. Okay, so now, moving on. How many minutes I got? I got a couple minutes left. After this, he rode up the glass mountain. When he reached the gate of the castle, he found it closed. But he gave it a blow with his stick, and it flew wide open at once, and he passed through. He mounted the steps and entered the room where the maiden was sitting, with a golden a golden goblet full of wine in front of her. She could not see him, for he still wore the cloak. He took the ring which she had given him off his finger and threw it on into the goblet, so it rang as it touched the bottom. Bing! That is my own ring. Well, she exclaimed, and if that is so, the man must also be here who is coming to set me free. She sought for him about the castle, but could find him nowhere. Meanwhile, he had gone outside again and mounted his horse and thrown off the cloak. When therefore she came to the castle gate, she saw him and cried aloud for joy. And then he dismounted and took her in his arms, and she kissed him and said, "Now you have indeed set me free, and tomorrow we shall celebrate our marriage." And that is the end of The Raven, which is a pretty good story. Nothing horrible happened in it. You know, sometimes the grim stories are a little bit grim. You end up getting married. That's pretty good, you know, so. All right, so that's the end of the story for today, guys. I love you guys. Hang in there. It's kind of a weird time. That's okay. I'm your friend. You're my friend. We'll have story time together along with Raggedy. And maybe I'll try and find some more costumey things to wear. You know, sometimes you're in the mood to wear a silly hat, and sometimes you have weird dreams about fishes, and you don't feel like it. And that's okay, right? Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night. Me and Raggedy say, mwah. Night.